Harry's wife, the Invictus Cancellation. Rumours are swirling that the Invictus documentary that is created for Netflix is about to be cancelled. You'll recall, of course, that Harry's wife has turned it into the Harry's Wife Games, making it all about her. Surrounds allegations that she has sought to incur a massive amount of expenditure for her wardrobe and charge it to the foundation, as I mentioned in parts passing. Now, according to the somewhat erratic Netflix junkie, Shradder provides us with the title "Angry Fans Accuse Harry's Wife" as Netflix cancelling Prince Harry's Invictus Games rumours spread. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry and Harry's wife, are probably the first ever royals to have struck deals with leading media giants of the world. Well, that's probably accurate, and as we know, that was as a consequence of Harry's wife's narcissism, meaning that she did not want to remain within the royal family. Instead, she wanted to strike out on her own, being a celebrity, using her connection with the royal family for the purpose of making money, a residual benefit. For the first time in the history of the British royals, the article continues, there is someone coming to the front without adhering to the never complain, never explain agenda. Although their stirring step did not go down well with many, the couple didn't hold back from doing whatever they thought needed to be addressed. The criticism, in return, had them under fire for having financed their fortune through lucrative deals. However, there have been some recent developments in Sussex's deals with the American streaming giant. Irrespective of how their bombshell docu-series brought enormous fame and fortune to both parties, the Sussexes have decided to put an end to it all for the time being. As reported by one of their representatives, the Sussexes have decided to call off their Tell saga and go up and about with their own lives. That phase of their lives is over, were the comments that surfaced over the same. There is then provided from Twitter from Meghan's mole a tweet whereby Meghan's mole states, Netflix has cancelled Heart of Invictus. You can thank Harry's wife, her outrageous demands, and turning it into the Harry's Wife fashion show, instead of it being focused on the veterans. The amount of money that was expensed on Harry's wife could have been used for the veterans. The article continues, meanwhile, there have been rumours surfacing about how it was actually the streamer who decided to call it quits with the couple. Apparently, one of Harry's wife's devised children's show, The Pearl, was called off by the streamer. Word has it that Prince Harry's much-anticipated docu-series on his world-renowned Invictus Games has also been called off, apparently. Rumours have been hitting the ceiling. Strange turn of phrase, but rumours have been hitting the ceiling about how the streamer is bent on ending its partnership with the couple. Hence the cancellation of the Games documentary. The audience reaction to the same, as expected, came highly polarising. Now, as always, it appears to be speculation with regard to whether the Games have been, the programme rather about the Games, has been cancelled. On the one hand, you could understand why it might be because of the falling stock and currency of the Sussexes. Spotify have ditched a second series of Archetypes. The initial docu-series had a lot of people watching it, but it was more out of a grudge watch than any genuine interest in it. And it may well be that the demands and the scandal that associating Harry's wife with regard to the expenses might be proving something that Netflix isn't particularly keen on. On the other hand, it would be suggested that if all the work's already been done, that they would be minded to want to put out the docu-series about the Invictus Games. Or it could be that when when Netflix have reviewed the Invictus Games material, they found it to be wanting and We all know that what Netflix had in mind was when they signed up Harry and Harry's wife wasn't for her to create something because she's a dullard in that regard. Instead, they basically wanted the pair of them to dish the dirt on their time in the royal family with a series of bombshell revelations, a la the ones that were issued to Oprah in her interview. They're not interested in what Harry's wife can produce because they know that it'll be dross. They want her to sit down and gossip. They wanted to sit down and dish the dirt. Returning to the article, which focuses on the various reactions of people, it states, while some are disappointed over the cancellation, others see it as good riddance. Nonetheless, the attack on Harry's wife for having wasted all the Duke's money continues. Netizens cannot help but bash the Duchess for having come up with the ideas in the first place. Again, rather odd writing. Nonetheless, it is pertinent to note that back in the day, authorities had made it clear that Prince Harry's Invictus Games is something they are highly looking forward to. And then it ends with, what is your opinion about the same? Do you believe the streamer has terminated the partnership? Let us know in the comments below. And unsurprisingly, there aren't any. But there is this suggestion that the Invictus Games have actually been cancelled, or will be cancelled. As I mentioned earlier, it is simple speculation. But if it is, then that is yet another blow to Harry's wife. It once again demonstrates her Sadim touch, that everything that she's involved in falls apart, turns to shit. Naturally, her narcissism will prevent her from seeing that it's her fault, that she is the one that taints things. Even if you were to sit down with Harry's wife and provide her with a list of all of the things that she's fucked up, all of the things that she's been involved in that have gone wrong, all the controversies that have been generated by her, she still will not accept them because her narcissism will not accept them. She will say, that's not true. That didn't happen. It wasn't like that. That did happen, but it wasn't my fault. Well, what do you expect? Because this person didn't do what they were ought to. I was let down by this individual. And the excuses will flow thick and fast. Should it be cancelled, then that is clearly another blow against Harry's wife. But she will just see it as reinforcing the hatred that's out there. She will not realise it's because people don't like her because of her behaviour. She will not realise that it's as a consequence of the fact that she has no talent. It will just reinforce the view that she has that nobody is to be trusted, that this is the way that people are towards her, that she does her level best to be kind to people, and this is how they repay her. She will not accept responsibility for her actions. The blame must be apportioned elsewhere. It, of course, remains to be seen whether the games have been cancelled, and as ever, there's tittle-tattle that will surround Harry's wife in that regard. But another marquee broadcast in relation to the Markles appears to be under threat, with the consequent threats to control that poses for Harry's wife. What do you think about the prospect of the Invictus Games docuseries being cancelled? Do you believe that it will be? Do you think it already has? If so, why do you think that's happened? If you think that it's going to continue, why do you think Netflix is hanging in there? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.